Hello everyone, in this video tutorial I'll be talking about convalescent plasma therapy. But before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Trupal Rathod. I'm a clinical pharmacist and I run a YouTube channel where I upload medical related tutorial videos on a regular basis. So if you are new to this channel, then please subscribe to my channel, like my videos and share it with others. So let's start. So convalescent plasma therapy. So first of all, we need to know the meaning of convalescence. Convalescence means recovering from illness. So from the name only we can understand the definition that convalescent plasma therapy means transferring a plasma from a recovered COVID-19 patient into a patient who is still critically ill, right? So what happens that when we are exposed to a coronavirus, or we can say when we are attacked by the coronavirus, our body's immune system, it develops the antibodies, or we can say immunoglobulins, to fight that virus, right? And when we recover from the illness, this antibody, they still remain into our body and they wait for the virus to come and to attack them. So if we inject these antibodies to the patient who is still critically ill, then these antibodies, they can recognize the virus and can fight them, right? So basically this plasma therapy can be much helpful if it is given before the infection, because almost all the patients, they develop these antibodies once they get infected. So it is much beneficial if it is given before the infection. So when this plasma therapy was introduced, so in 1980 there was this German physiologist, his name was Emil von Behring. He identified that serum obtained from the rabbit infected with diphtheria can be helpful in preventing the infection in human. At that time this therapy was called as a serum therapy and he was given Nobel Prize for that. And later on this therapy was called as a convalescent plasma therapy. Now this convalescent plasma therapy, it was used before also in SARS outbreak, MERS outbreak and Ebola outbreak, but the results were varied, right? In some it was effective and in some it was not effective. But now there are some data which shows that this therapy, this plasma therapy, can be potentially effective for the COVID-19, right? And it shows that one transfusion is enough for the recovery, right? And it also says that one patient can give 3 to 4 sample, one recovered patient can give 3 to 4 sample, right? Okay, so till now we have understood that basically we are transferring the antibodies from recovered to ill patients, right? And these antibodies are remain present in the plasma. So let's take a quick overview at what is plasma, right? So we know that our blood, it contains the blood cells and proteins. And in proteins, it contains albumin, immunoglobulins and clotting proteins. So if we remove all the blood cells from the blood, then the yellowish colored liquid which remain is called as a plasma. And if we remove all the clotting proteins also from it, then it is called as a serum. Now serum is used for the testing purpose. It is used for the detection of immunoglobulin G and M, right, in COVID-19, and plasma is used for the transfusion, right? So you need to understand that serum is used for the testing purpose and plasma is used for the transfusion. So here basically we are transferring or we are transfusing the plasma from recovered to ill patient. Okay, so now let's understand how these immunoglobulins, or we can say antibody, are generated in our body and how they are helpful in fighting against the coronavirus. We know that the coronavirus specifically targets the type 2 pneumocytes in the alveoli, but alveoli also contains the macrophages, and this macrophages will interact with the coronavirus. Okay, so for example, this is our coronavirus and this is the macrophage. Macrophage contain the receptor for the virus. So what will happen? This virus will bind to the receptor, right? And this macrophage will engulf the virus inside. They'll take up the virus inside and then they'll break down this virus into a smaller pieces. And at this time, this macrophage is called as a APC. APC means antigen presenting cell. Now there are 3 types of APCs in body. One is dendritic cell, another one is macrophage and is B cell. Now here we will be talking about macrophages. Now this macrophage will put these smaller pieces of virus onto the specific protein. This is called as a MHC protein receptor, right? And what this MHC protein receptor will do, this MHC protein will expose this virus particles to the outside world. Okay, understood? Now we know that our body contains the lymph node. Lymph node is the site where the abundant amount of T lymphocyte stays, and the T lymphocytes are the very important immune cells. So this macrophage will carry this virus particles, will travel up to the lymph nodes, will travel up to the nearby lymph nodes, and they'll present this virus particles to the T cells. That's why they are called as an antigen presenting cell. This virus particle, they'll bind to the receptor which is present on this T cells, and they'll cause co-stimulation, right? And while the process of co-stimulation, these T cells will get activated, right? And this activated T cells, they release the chemicals called interleukin 5 and interleukin 4. Now these interleukins will bind to the beta cells, and they'll cause the activation of beta cells, which leads to the cloning of beta cell. Now what is cloning? Cloning means several number of copies will be generated from one beta cells, and each beta cells will be responsible for the production of immunoglobulins. And each beta cells has a specific antigen binding receptor that will bind to the specific antigen only, right? And each will be responsible for the production of immunoglobulins. There are 5 immunoglobulins which are produced: immunoglobulin M, D, G, I and A, right? Okay, so now in any type of infection, the first immunoglobulins that appears in our body are immunoglobulin M and immunoglobulin D. And the later immunoglobulins include G, I and A. So basically M, D, G, I, A is the sequence of appearance. Okay, now if we talk about COVID-19, so when we are exposed to the coronavirus, the first immunoglobulins that are appear in our body is immunoglobulin M, but it remains undetectable till the 7th to 8th day. It becomes detectable after 3 days from the onset of system. So basically this period is called as a incubation period. Then it remains for around 12 to 14 days, and then it disappears. But around 14 to 15 days, the another immunoglobulins that appears into our body is immunoglobulin G, and it remains for a longer period of time. Some data shows that it can last for 2 months, some shows that it can last up to 1 year also, right? So what happens if we come in a contact with the same virus again? Our body will not take 7 to 8 days to produce immunoglobulins. It will start giving response immediately, right? It will start producing the immunoglobulins on an immediate basis, right? Okay, now let's understand that how these immunoglobulins can be helpful in fighting the infection. So there are 3 ways. First is the neutralizations. Immunoglobulins, they bind to the virus particle and they'll inactivate them. They can also bind to the toxins which are released by the virus and can inactivate them. So that is neutralization. Second is the opsonizations. Our immunoglobulins, they bind to the antigen particles, and macrophages find them very attractive. Macrophages find these complexes, this antibody antigen complexes, very attractive. So they'll go there and then engulf them and kill them. So that is opsonizations. Third is the complementary system activation. So immunoglobulins activate the complement system so that some molecules such as C3a and C3b will be released. They'll also act like the immunoglobulins and will bind to the antigens, which will be recognized by the macrophages, and macrophages will engulf and kill them. Okay, so there are 3 ways: complement system activation, neutralization and opsonization. So that's all about the convalescent plasma therapy. FDA has approved it for the emergency uses. If we talk about India, the Kerala was the first state to experiment this plasma therapy, and now other states were also given the permissions. So nowadays this plasma therapy is the beacon of hope for the COVID-19. So let's see how it goes. So if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe.